So in order for us to build our contact form, you'd actually need a web host with PHP, as PHP scripts are only executed on the server side. Now if you're fairly advanced with things, you can install a web server on your own PC. However, I'll be using a hosting plan that I'll be accessing through FTP via FileZilla. Now if you haven't got a hosting plan or a server, then don't worry too much, as there are a range of free hosting plans that are available from various sites. For example, 5gbfree.com. So here if you look at the hosting options, we can see that the free server option provides FTP support and also PHP support. So if you need to sign up for the free account, you'll receive 5 gigabytes of free hosting space. And to get that, all you need to do is fill in the information required here to register. Then you'll receive your login information through an email, and you'll be able to log into your newly created FTP account through FileZilla, for example. But if you Google free hosting, then like I said, there are a large number of companies that do offer the service. So if you haven't got hosting available or you haven't got a server, then be sure to sign up for a plan before continuing. Okay, so when you're all set up, what we need to do is first log into our FTP account. And like I said previously, we'll be doing that within FileZilla. So obviously if you haven't got that already, then download it. It is a free piece of software, and there are other versions available, so you don't actually have to specifically use FileZilla, but that's what I'll be using throughout the lectures. So if you already have a site or a hosting plan, then once you're logged into the account, what we need to do is actually create a new folder that is going to house all of our content. So we just need to right click in the folder structure here and then choose Create Directory. Then we simply create a folder and call that PHP, nice and simple. Now I'm going to enter that folder, and then what we need to do is drag the Bootstrap folders that we just downloaded into our PHP folder on our server. So it would be either these 2 or 3 files here, depending on which version of Bootstrap you're using. Then when they are dragged across, they are simply uploaded onto our server. Now for this example, I'll be starting fresh, so I'll need to add a new index page. So I right click and then create new file. And I'll give this a name of index.php. Now I'll be adding styles to our contact form as well, so we'll need a style sheet. So I'll go into our CSS file and I'll right click again and add new file, and I'll call this style.css. So you should have all the files and folders set up like this. Now in order for us to edit the files on the server side, we can simply right click on the file and there should be an edit option. And if you click this option, it will either open in your default HTML editor, or it may give you a choice of programs that you want to edit the file with. So as I'm using a Mac, I'll be using the Text Wrangler piece of software throughout this lecture. However, obviously feel free to use whichever HTML editor you like. It won't have any effect on the end result. It's basically whatever you feel comfortable using. Now Text Wrangler is a free piece of software. You can download it from the Mac App Store, or on Windows machines there are free options such as Sublime Text or Coffee Cup Editor. So if you don't currently have an editor, then be sure to Google these and see which one will suit your needs. So when you have the file open in your text editor, you will be working with a live file that is currently sat on the server. So if we just load up the file in our browser and go to the URL, so in our case it will be within the PHP folder, which is currently sat on my server. So you can currently see that it shows a blank page. And we know it's working okay because we don't get any server or page not found errors. So now any edits that you make to the index file, when that file is saved off, any changes that are made will be updated live on the web. Now in order for us to get into the Bootstrap framework, we need to go and grab a starter template from the Get Bootstrap website. So we can head over to getbootstrap.com. Now here is where you need to go to read all the official documentation on the Bootstrap framework. But what we need is the Documentation tab or the Getting Started section if you're working within Bootstrap 3. So when you're at this page, what you need to do is scroll down slightly until you hit the Starter Template or Basic Template section. Now all you need to do is copy this small section of code here. Now some of the code may look different to what you see here. It purely depends on which version that is currently available at the time that you create this form. However, this starter code gives us all that we need to start building in Bootstrap. Then what we do is we head back to the index page and simply paste that into our blank PHP document. Then if you save off the index file, it may give you an option to overwrite the files in your FTP program. Simply click OK because you do want to overwrite the file as you go along. Then if we head to our browser and update our page, we should see the Hello World text appear that we copied over from the Bootstrap website. Okay, so now we have the basics set up and we know that everything's working correctly on our server. What we can do is actually go and start building our form, and we'll do that within our next lecture.